All right, now this, 22 minutes before the top of the hour, Lawrence has been visiting blue cities with an exclusive barbershop talk series.
Why'd you have to do the quotes
say.
with it?
Because it was in the prompter?
Okay.
And last week, we had a very special guest.
So former President Donald Trump joined me at Knockout Barbershop in the Bronx to talk to voters. Here's a look at that.
Nice to see you all. Nice to see you. Wow, how are you? Nice to see you. Huh? How good are the barbers here?
Excellent.
I'll bet they're good. Let's see. I can see they're good. They look good to me. Nice soft floor. What's that all about? Why is it so? What wrestling matches? Thank you. Nice to see you all. How are you? Nice to see you. Big hands, strong guy. How are you? Nice to see you. So you the owner?
My son's the owner.
Oh, you did that very nice and easy, huh? Is he as good as you?
It's great.
Good. Nice to see you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So, Mr. President, you know I've been going to the barbershops all across the country.
Yeah.
So I wanted to have a natural conversation,
Good.
you know, with these folks right here. So this fellow right here, he used to be in law enforcement for some years. What would you say is the most important issue facing the country right now?
For me, it's the border.
Right,
For
right.
me, it's the border.
I agree.
And how to control that, how to keep illegal migrants from coming into the country.
Right.
Very important for me. And if I had a question to ask about it, would be how do we control the city, sanctuary cities? Because New York is a
We get rid of them.
time.
We
Yes.
get rid of them because they're sanctuary. You know what they're for? Criminals. And all over the country, the criminals go there. But you're right. You know, the polls are showing that inflation and not the border's third. They have inflation and the economy as the number one and number two issue. I disagree. I think inflation is massive. The economy is massive. But the border to me is like, it's the fabric of our country. And we had the strongest border in recorded history. 4 years ago, you had a border. You didn't have the problems that you have now. Last week, they announced that we had 13,099 convicted murderers released from jails all over the world. You know, it's not South America, it's all over the world, including South America. So I agree with you. I think the biggest problem we have is the border. It's something, and it's also the hardest thing to solve. And the only way you can solve it, you have to get the criminals, the murderers, you got to get them out. You got to get them out fast before they prey on our people.
That was a big question for me because I'm a retired New York City detective.
Right.
So in New York here, we've run across that for a
Well,
long
the other
time.
problem you have is that you're not allowed to do your job.
Yeah.
And when you were there, you
Yeah.
go back 10, 15 years, when you were there, you were allowed to do your job.
Yes.
New York's finest. They're still New York's finest, but they're not allowed to do their job.
So when you were president, I know for a fact I was able to do three things. I was able to see money, save money, spend money.
Right?
Now in the past almost 4 years now, I'm losing my business basically. The
Are you
money's
losing
just
it?
not there.
It's your business?
It's my business. I started it for the past 10 years, and the only time I knew I made it was when you were in office, so I could speak for myself.
Right.
And the thing is, it's like, I don't know what more to do. How can we make the economy come back?
How do you get to the bottom of
So here's what we're doing. Number one, it all began with the oil. They screwed around with what I did with oil. We had the greatest. We were energy independent. You remember back 4 or 5 years ago, $1.87 for a gallon of gas. We actually had it lower than that for your car. $1.87. Now it's at 3.5, but it was much higher. They brought back my policies to break even, but by that time the damage was done. And now you have inflation and you have the cost so high, and they haven't gone down. We're going to do two things. Interest rates are going down. It's going to be brought down. It's going to be brought down fast, but much more importantly and quicker, we're going to drill, baby, drill. You've heard that, right? Drill, baby, drill. We're going to get our oil. We're going to have much more of it. That we're going to do 4 to 5 times more than we're doing right now. We can do that. These people are amazing. They can do it. And we'll be supplying it to Asia. We'll be supplying it to Europe. We'll be supplying it to everywhere. And that's going to bring down prices. It's going to bring down the cost of everything. If you make donuts, when you look at these stores, they have trucks that deliver. They have stoves and ovens. You have your lighting. You have all this, you know, equipment. And all of that electric equipment that he's using on your beautiful head of hair, you have a good-looking head of hair. I'm jealous. Look at that flat top. I'd have a flat top. I wish I had a flat top. You never had a hair loss problem, did you? Lucky. He's one of those gifted ones. Anyway, what you do? Those machines are very expensive. They're running the machines that electric. When that comes down, like in a shop like this, no matter what you do, it's about energy. We're going to bring it down. We're going to get the prices down. How's your rent done in terms of, do you own the store or is it rented?
No, it's rented.
And is the landlord a good guy? Is he okay?
Yeah, he's a good
He's
guy.
all right?
Yeah.
Do you cut his hair, I hope?
I mean, he comes in from time to time.
You know what? If you're as good as your father says, right, and you cut his hair great, that's very important to barber to a guy. So he could be a wealthy landlord, but he'll give you a low rent because having a good barber is a very important thing, I can tell you.
So, Mr. President, you got a young guy right
That's a
there.
big thing, though.
It's a huge thing.
So how has your rent been? So where was it like 5 years ago, the rent?
I mean, the rent was significantly lower. Now it's gone up about 1,200 cents.
Yeah, it's okay. That's a big
and
increase.
My issue was more the energy. I've been paying $2,100 since I first opened up. In the last 7 months, it shot up to $15,000.
What?
It's $15,000, and that's
You went from 2,100.
to $15,000 in this establishment. Yeah.
How many heads can you take care of? That's a lot, right?
It's like so much stealing and losing from us.
So when
We
from
pulled in.
2,100 to 15,000.
Yeah, so they
So
added-
there's an example though. Energy, right? So energy, when that comes down, ready? I almost hate to say because you'd be at 7,000, right? But
Right.
your energy bill from January 20th, if I win, we gotta win. And we're gonna, by the way, and we're in New York, and these guys love New York. If we win, oh, I love this guy. Look at that. Give me that hat. I'm gonna sign it. Come on, give me that hat. I love this guy. Thank you very much. That's beautiful. I'll sign yours too. Look at that one.
We fighting with them.
So what?
He's very busy. I don't know why.
He's going to keep busy for a long time. So let me ask you, how much is it like a haircut? An average haircut. Guy comes in, he wants.
$30, $40.
Yeah.
Right now.
What
at
did
this
it
point.
used to be?
15, 12, 15.
15.
Yeah.
Oh, we're talking about 10 years ago.
And-
Now,
yeah.
we have to make it make sense. You know,
Right.
like you can't charge the regular prices, especially out here in our
Do you have guys like these guys? Do they come in and negotiate the price?
Yeah.
They probably do. I would.
What's your question for the president, sir?
What is the plan to do about the the food healthcare industry and getting the artificial foods banned in our urban communities that have less access to organic whole foods?
So, Bobby Kennedy, right? Everybody likes Bobby, and he's so big into the health food and women things, everything. He wants to do things in the environment, and he endorsed me. First time a Kennedy's ever endorsed a Republican. Maybe it's going to be the last, but I doubt it. And he's a great guy. He would be so perfect. He doesn't like artificial foods, and he doesn't like pesticides and all the stuff they put on them. And if you listen to him for 10 minutes, I mean, he says other countries that don't do anything are healthier than us, okay? We're not that healthy, to put it mildly. So no artificial foods. We don't want artificial. We have plenty of food. The food isn't our problem. And our farmers are great. And our farmers aren't allowed to do their job. You know, our farmers did great 4 years ago. They were doing just about the best they've ever done. They're not doing well at all now. We're not going to have artificial foods. We don't want artificial foods. We want healthy foods. And a lot of things are going to be going. And I'll tell you, I'm going to have Bobby Kennedy involved in it. He's a great guy. And even the way when I mentioned his name, all you guys, and you're tough cookies. You know, you wouldn't think, sometimes you'd say, maybe you wouldn't like a guy like Bobby. But he's a person that talks more about food and health than anything else. So I think that's cool. So we'll get it taken care of. You'll be healthier in 4 years from now than you are now. And you look very healthy to me, by the way.
All right, brother.
Thank you. Go ahead.
What do you have for the
Yes, Mr.
president?
Trump. My biggest concern is the future and the future generation,
Right.
my kids' generation.
Yeah.
A lot of people are worried that attaining the American dream at this point in time and in the near future is going to be unattainable for this upcoming generation, which I have kids that are part of that generation.
How many kids you have?
I have two, a 17 and an 18-year-old.
Good.
Now, I believe one of the biggest hurdles we have when it comes to attaining that American dream is overtaxation.
Yeah.
When it comes to federal taxes,
Right.
I know we're going to bring back, I'm sure you're going to start back up the pipeline,
Right.
the Keystone Pipeline,
In 2
which is
minutes.
going to generate an abundance of revenue.
Right.
Also, with the tariffs that you've spoken of. So my question is, with all this extra revenue
Yeah.
we're going to be bringing into the country, so do you believe at some point in time we could find a way, once the country's back on its feet and getting enough revenue and paid off our debt, do you
Yeah.
think it's possible to find a way to eliminate federal taxes for?
There is a way. There is a way.
And how do you feel about
You know,
it?
in the
What
old
steps would you
days,
take?
when we were a smart country, in the 1890s and all, this is when the country was relatively the richest it ever was. It had all tariffs. It didn't have an income tax.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Now we have income taxes, and we have people that are dying. They're paying tax, and they don't have the money to pay the tax. No, in the old days, 1890, 1880, we had so much money, they had to set up committees, blue ribbon committees, how to spend our wealth. We had no idea how to spend it with so much money. Then we went to the income tax system, and the rest is sort of history. But no, there is a way. I mean, if what I'm planning comes out, it's a great question, by the way.
Everyone could attain
You're
the
a pretty
American dream.
sophisticated cat, you know.
Everyone could attain the American dream if it wasn't for the high cost, the burden of high taxes, and
Everything.
we're taxed at every step of the way.
Yeah.
When we make it, when
And
we spend
regulations. And regulations. So
Absolutely.
I cut more regulations in 4 years than any other president by 4 times. Yeah, let's go. You were going to ask one question.
What is one thing that you probably feel like you didn't do in your first term that you feel like you could do better now?
I'll tell you the one thing, because I did, you know, look, we had the best economy with the best border. We had a lot of, so I did a lot of good stuff, rebuilt the military. It's all about people. I got to get the right people. You know, when I went there, I won. 92% of the presidents, 92% for the whole history of our country were politicians. 8% were generals. No admirals. 8% were, that's it. That's 100%. 92 and 8. They were politicians and they were generals. General Washington, you know, et cetera, George Washington. Thank you. You're doing very good at that. I'm just going to sign this.
I got longer arms than you.
Yeah, you do have longer arms. So here's what we do. We take all of that and we come, and here comes Donald Trump down the line. And so it's about people. It's all about people. I went to Washington 17 times in my entire life. So I wasn't a Washington person. I was a New York person. So when I went to Washington, all of a sudden I'm standing in the White House opposite the Lincoln bedroom. And I said, man, this is so amazing. But I didn't really know too many. So I had to rely on people to give me recommendations for people, to run agencies, to be secretary of this, secretary of that, all big stuff. And I didn't know anybody. I had to rely. And I still did great. Look, we rebuilt the military. We knocked out ISIS. We did all these things. We did great. We had the best economy. We had the best everything. Everything was good. But I had some people that, if I had it to do again, I wouldn't have used. Now I've been there 4 years, plus another 4 that I'm sort of there in a way. I know the best people. To me, it's all about people. You got to have the right people. We have the best people lined up. We're going to do a great job. Listen, so I'm going down to see the Wall Street Journal. If I had my choice, I'd stay with you for 2-3 hours because you guys are great. You guys are the same as me. It's the same stuff. We were born the same way. I grew up in Queens and all of that. I mean, you know, it's. I had a great father. I had a father who was a great guy. He was tough but good, big heart, big heart. And he was a construction guy, pretty much, and a real estate guy. And I learned a lot from him. He was great. But I know you people so well. Without knowing you, I know you so well. When I walked in here, I said, this is home territory. And I really appreciate it. And you are fantastic. I bet he's a fantastic father. Take care of that guy, right?
I think we got time for one more,
Okay,
Mr. President. Go ahead,
Mr.
brother.
President, are there things that...
Is he a good barber, too?
Yeah.
Who's better, you or him as a barber? How long have you worked here?
11 years.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Could he give me a good haircut yet?
You gonna do it?
I do it.
That's the master right there.
Who's the master? Is he the
man
best?
Right there. He's the best.
These are oldest guys. 35 years. I've been coming in 35
He
years.
looks like a young guy.
Yeah.
I've been coming to him since
Good job. You did a good job with your boy, I'll tell you, right?
Yeah.
You did a good job with your son, huh?
He's a great kid.
He's
I
doing
love it.
good.
I'm proud of
And
him.
you have other kids, too?
Yeah, I got 4 altogether. 2 girls and 2
All
boys.
good. I'll bet all good,
They're
right?
all doing great.
I can look at him and see that
Yeah.
you all
I'm
turned out
happy.
good.
I'm in peace.
Do they work here, too, at all?
No. One of them works with him in his restaurant.
that works with me.
Oh, good. What do you do?
I'm a real estate investor and I own
Good.
a restaurant and a bar.
Good, great. You look great.
Hey, I'm here next to the president. I got to look great.
President, I think we could say here collectively, I met all these guys today for the first time, but we all love America just like you. And that's why we're here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr.
Really
President.
nice. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you for
you.
giving us-
It's great, Lawrence.
So I got to tell you, if you've been watching Fox for years, I've been talking about the barbershop for years. And he's the first candidate that said, okay, I'll go. I'll go talk with the people. I've been asking Republicans, if you want to reach a different demographic, then you got to meet them where they are. And he did it.
Well, Brian was asking you, said, are they Republicans or the Democrats? Or maybe that was Carly that was asking you, and you
Some
said it
of
was
them
a mix.
Democrats, some of them Republicans. Some of them have never voted for a Republican before but Donald Trump. So it's going to be interesting. I'm still going to complete the series. I got Atlanta that's going to be coming up. And it's a mix of people. Some of the folks in the barbershop are Democrats, some of them are Republicans, some of them are voting for Kamala Harris, some of them are voting for Donald Trump. But we've never seen this amount of support from Black Americans, Hispanic Americans for a Republican. That's why we're doing it.
And there's also, remember, he had a huge rally in the Bronx because he was stuck in court. And now he's going to end up Sunday at Madison Square Garden. People are like, why is he in New York? Well, you can't tell the president he can't win New York. He's like, are you kidding me? Where I go, I'm getting
I think he
crowds.
takes it personal because he's from New York. And he wants people to know that they have a shot. We're going to have more of this later on in the show. Also, tomorrow, we got a little bit more of the conversation.
I just think it's great. I can't believe that guy's energy bill.
Yeah.
$15,000.
$15,000.
And it just increased. It was $1,200, and now it's $15,000.
In fairness to the landlord's getting billed. He can't lose money.
No, I know.
I'm not saying he's gouging.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I can't believe energy costs have gone up that much.